choice that I think we all get to make is we got to create a culture that questions the unquestionable. Now, what's the unquestionable? The unquestionable are your taken for granted assumptions about the way you think healthcare works. The unquestionable are your deeply seated, taken for granted assumptions about what you think competitors to Christus Health are doing, about what you think patients and doctors really want, about what you think your employees are really capable of. The unquestionable is what you today in this health system think is impossible. You know, we now know that the world isn't flat, that Everest can be climbed, that a person who experiences 18 Gs in a space vehicle isn't going to die, and that a surgeon in a major medical institution can operate on a patient 3,000 miles away in a rural area. The unquestionable are the opinions of those who have bigger titles and more expensive suits than you. The question is, are you willing to question the unquestionable? We think it's a pretty critical thing, right? Because if we can't, then we're not going to get to the most elegant solutions. Now, if you're going to question the unquestionable, you got to trade what if for why not. And why not now? Right? When people push back on you, you got to be willing to say, why not? Why not now? What if Christus Health became the lighthouse on a hill that made healthcare attractive so that we focused on prevention and wellness and well-being and not just acute care? What if the world looked in on this health system and said they led the charge? What if, men and women, patients today could diagnose their own incipient cancers and heart diseases and then log on to a world-renowned specialist and figure out what they need to do next? What if your hospitals, devoid of people occupying beds for the wrong reasons, i.e. they don't take their meds, could be turned into secondary and tertiary centers of excellence where physicians operating in multidisciplinary specialty teams could actually leverage the training that they received and what they're really interested in? What if every caregiver represented by somebody in this room could be absolutely certain that every script was filled and swallowed as prescribed? What if we could put a radio transmitter the size of a granule of sand made of food-grade material for a few pennies more inside a drug capsule that sends a digital encrypted signal to a receiver on the patient's arm that's about the size of a small Band-Aid that dates and timestamps that medication? What if? When people come to you in this health system with ideas like that and say, what if? And the rest of the world looks and says, that'll never happen. We don't have the resources for that. Ernie's not going to buy that. The sisters aren't going to go for that. No way, that ain't going to happen. Do you have the guts to question it? Do you have the guts to stand up and be the lone voice in the conference room and say, you know what, guys, I think this is a time when we ought to go left on red? Got to question the unquestionable.